Hi everyone. Let's do the questions and answers from the textbook today. This is from the poem Louder Than a Clap of Thunder. Let's begin. Your first question is this one. Louder than a cannon roars, louder than a giant's rattle. That's how loud my father snores. What are the two sounds described in these lines? It's right in front of you. But how do you answer it? How do you put it in a sentence? Like this. The two sounds described in these lines are the roar of a cannon and the rattle of a giant. Okay, the next question. What does the poet list? Why does the poet list these sounds? The answer, the poet lists these sounds to help us understand how loud his father's snoring was. Do you think his father actually snores so loud? No, he's exaggerating. Hyperbole. The third question. Which other word in the poem is a synonym for giant? Another word that means the same as giant. The answer, the other word is ogre. It's pronounced as ogre. 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 The next question. Louder than an ogre grumbles as he stumbles through the cave, louder than stampeding cattle. Stampeding. Stampeding. The questions. Which two words in these lines describe movements? Your answer. The two words that describe movement are stumbles and stampeding. The next question. Which word best describes the ogre, clumsy or sure-footed? Was he clumsy or was he sure-footed? The answer. The ogre was clumsy. See, when you write your answers, you don't have to write them in detail unless the question requires you to do that. So the shorter your answer, the less chances of you making any mistakes and losing any marks. Keep your answers short and to the point. Those days of writing long, elaborate answers are gone, long gone. All right, the next question. Circle the three words that rhyme most closely with cattle and rattle. The words are battle, prattle, and tattle. All the other words you will find in your textbook. This is the answer. Battle, prattle, tattle. The next question. Of all the sounds listed in the poem, which one do you think would be the loudest? Here's what I think. I think the ogre would make the loudest sound as he grumbled and stumbled through his cave, because that's how I imagine an ogre to sound. I have read a lot of storybooks since the time I was very small about ogres and giants. I've watched movies and serials, and I presume that an ogre would be really loud, especially if he's grumbling about something and stumbling as he's walking. That's what I think, but you might think something different from what I think. So that's perfectly all right. The fourth question. What do you think makes this poem humorous? Why is it a funny poem? The answer. I think that comparing all the loud sounds to the snores of the persona's father makes the poem humorous. Why am I saying persona and why am I not saying poet? Because a poet is the person who writes a poem. Now, it is not an autobiography. He is pretending to be a character in the poem, and that character is relating his experience and telling us how loud his father snores by using a whole lot of exaggeration, hyperbole to make it interesting. So the poet is writing a poem, but the persona is the person who is speaking in a poem. Okay? So I think that comparing all the loud sounds to the snores of the persona's father makes the poem humorous. Persona is the person speaking in a poem, poet is a person who writes a poem, Writer is a person who writes something, anything. Narrator is a person who narrates something. Author is a person who writes only a book, document, or article. All right? So that's the difference between all these words, because I've written it here because I have seen people confuse them a lot. Okay? Let's end here and we'll meet again very soon. Until then, cheerio.